All right, as always, we'll start with Colossians 3 and 17. Colossians 3 and 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, whatever you say, whatever action you do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So we give thanks to the Most High in the name of the anointed Savior, Mashiach Yahushua. Giving praise and glory to His holy name. I want to go into some scriptures concerning friends and a lot of different aspects of we as a people, as the 12 tribes of Israel, as we go through these scriptures, we see certain things. And let's go all the way back to Genesis. And hopefully I can give you an understanding on this concerning our forefather Joseph. We're going to look at Genesis, the 40th chapter. We're going to look at how, in different ways, people are. Genesis 41, and it came to pass after these things that the brother of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their power, the king of Egypt. So the brother and the baker offended the king of Egypt, and Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. So they were in charge of the butlers, they were in charge of the bakers, these two men. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. The same prison where Joseph was in. The chief of the butlers and the chief of the bakers. During the time that Joseph was in Egypt. And Joseph is in prison now. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued to season in war. And they dreamed a dream, both of them. Both of them dreamed a dream. Each man is dreamed in one night. Each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. Both of them had a dream. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them. And behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers, that were with him in the ward of his master's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly today? Why are you looking so sadly today? What's wrong with you? Why are you looking so sad? And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his master's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, and there was no interpreter of it. to tell them what the dream meant. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to the Most High? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me. And in the vine were 3 branches. And it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup. And I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. He crushed the grapes into this cup and gave it to Pharaoh. And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head and restore thee unto thy place. And thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner when thou was his butler. So you can give Pharaoh back his cup. You're going to give Pharaoh his cup as he did when he was the butler. But think on me. This is very important here. He said, but think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. So when the Most High allowed Pharaoh to show him favor, this chief of the butlers, when he gonna have his job back as the chief of the butlers, going in and out, being the butler for Pharaoh, Joseph said, hey, remember me in this prison, man. Remember me. Simple as that, just remember me. Verse 14 again, but think on me. Think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. He asked him to make mention of him. Say, bring him out of that house, man, out of that prison hole, out of that dungeon that he was in. Because he letting you know what the dream was. He interpreted the dream for him. He just told him, remember him, and mention his name to Pharaoh once Pharaoh shows him favor. Verse 15, for indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. See? While we can't call ourselves Hebrew Israelites, because we were called Hebrews. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. Hebrew is our language. Israelite is our nationality, our race. And here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. So I ain't did anything. You know, Pharaoh's wife accused him of trying to rape her when she was trying to get with Joseph. He refused. Wickedness to the utmost. Verse 15 again, for indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, his wicked brothers. So I say we're a bunch of degenerate family, backwards family. His brothers sold him to the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, and they sold him to the Egyptians, so-called Africans. That's why he's in the situation that he's in now, in prison. Verse 16, when the chief butler saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there was of all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. So he's telling Joseph his dream. And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. Wow. He told him in 3 days, Pharaoh's going to hang him, and the birds going to eat his flesh from off him. Verse 20, and it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday. First time you see this in the Bible. It was Pharaoh's birthday. That he made a feast unto all his servants. This is what the heathens did. He made a feast unto all his servants. Most High said in Jeremiah 10:2, learn not the way of the heathen. It came to pass the 3rd day, verse 20, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler, exalted him, and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand, as the dream said. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them, because he gave an interpretation to both of them. Check this out. And I want you all that to say this. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him, but forgave him, which means he forgot him, forgot all about it. Isn't that something? Sound familiar? It should. That's how people are. They get what they want, they forget about those that, you know, could help them get whatever they get or do whatever it is that is necessary for them to get to where they're trying to get. Another birthday. So we talk about birthdays. Let's look at the 2nd birthday that's in the Bible. Go to Matthew the 14th chapter. So you see, that birthday was about what? Death. Hung the baker on Pharaoh's birthday. So let's look at this one. Matthew 14:1. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Mashiach Yahushua and said unto his servants, this is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John and bound him and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her, because he was his brother's wife. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude, because they counted him as a prophet, counted John the Baptist as a prophet. Here we go. But when Herod's birthday was kept, see, Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John Baptist's head in a charger. So her wicked mama told her daughter to ask for John the Baptist's head on a charger. You know, like a little silver thing, you open it up, you had a food there. Well, she wanted John the Baptist's head in there. And the king was sorry, nevertheless for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison. And his head was brought in the charger and given to the dancer, and she brought it to her mother. And the disciples came and took up the body and buried it. and went and told him Mashiach Yahushua. That's the two birthdays. Both of them commemorated death. Wasn't no love in that at all. Go to Judges, the 16th chapter. Let's look at Samson and Delilah. Then went Samson to Gaza, verse 1, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her. Prostitute, a whore. He had sex with her. And it was told to Gazites, saying, Samson is come thither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city. And were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the two posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of a hill that is before Hebron. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the masters of the Philistines came up unto her, and said unto her, entice him, and see wherein his strength, his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. This is what you call a sellout. This infiltration, all against the brothers. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy strength, thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green whips that will never dry, then shall I be weak, and be as another man. Then the masters of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green whips, which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now that should have gave the spiritual understanding to realize that this woman is trying to take away his great strength. Because she bound him with them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the whips as a thread of tow is broken when it touches the fire, so his strength was not known. That didn't work. Delilah said unto Samson, behold, how hast thou mocked me and told me lies? Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if they bind me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak, and be as another man. Delilah therefore took new ropes. She took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me, you mock me again. And told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam, and with the web. And she said unto him, how can thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and has not told me wherein thy strength